Dartsman,
Jamie.
thank you for joining me. I've observed your channel for a number of weeks now, and I must say I do find what you do really interesting.
All right, then.
So for those who don't know, Dartsman kind of speaks to people that are no longer here. And not only do you do that, some of them are really famous, infamous, notorious. Some really household names. I seen you talking to Anne Kilbride, better known to the public as DG Barlow. What else have I done? So I've seen you talking to the likes of Fred West and Harold Shipman, as you do. Can I just ask you first, Dartsman, what got you into it? Where did it all start from?
Well, basically, it started off from a fellow subscriber on my YouTube channel by the name of Charlie Chittington, who does Ghostbox sessions as well. And obviously, Charlie Chittington, everybody says he looks like Kurt Cobain because of his long blonde hair, etc. And Charlie Chittington does like oil painting for a living. So I checked up his channel and I thought to myself, oh, some of these Ghostbox sessions seem a bit interesting. And obviously, at first I thought, oh, it's a bit spooky at first, because when I've listened to some of the answers that the ghosts are like responding to, it's like really accurate, etc. So, like for instance, let's see, Angela Lansbury, for example, from Murder, She Wrote, he would say like, "Are you now at peace in the afterlife?" And she'll like come back saying like, "Yes, love it here, it's amazing," etc. But obviously, that's just really, you know, people are saying it's not real, but to me, I think it is, because, you know, I know it's like basically like a radio device, like what I've got, like this, for example, which is a Ghostbox like device. So this is the similar one that I got from Charlie Chittington on his YouTube channel. So it's like a radio, but basically you don't think of it as a radio, you just think of it as a spirit responding to your question, that sort of thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because I did read a little bit the other day about it, and apparently these devices, they're kind of, it's almost like they tap into anyone with a supernatural. It basically allows them to come back and interact with us. So you mentioned Angela Lansbury there. I mean, what other names that people would know that you've spoke to?
Well, I didn't speak to Angela Lansbury personally, but that was Charlie himself. I've spoke to people like, for example, Mark McManus from Taggart. He was the very first late person that I communicated with. And some of the accurate responses I got from him were like Modda, and he was like from Scotland and that sort of thing. And obviously it was just really fascinating to hear that, because I just thought that sounds exactly like Mark McManus.
I mean, as I said, but you know, at the start, Dartsman, were you not like think, oh, hang on a minute, you know, because I mean, I foolishly did a Ouija board when I was young. What happened there was you just couldn't make that up. You know, it was just like, it was mind blowing. And obviously, I know a few people who've done it, and you know, well, yeah, they say, you know, the spirits can latch on, and you know, I've had certainly a couple of experiences. But were you worried, thinking like, hang on a minute, these, particularly some of your Fred West, your Harold Shipmans, these could come and stay here?
No, I wasn't afraid at all. I just, you know, obviously I was at first, because I thought, oh, I wonder if it's going to be some sort of like witchcraft or something. But when I got into it, I thought, oh, you know, it's just basically like talking to a person that's alive today. But I just, you know, like put things together on the radio devices like that I use, that like when I listen to it, and obviously I have to play it back so many times to work out what that individual's saying and what he or she is responding to, like when I ask them that particular question. So like saying like, do you have a message for your family? And they'll say like, yes, dad loves you, or something like that. Because I've done a couple of Ghostbox sessions with a couple of late family members of mine, and a lot of their responses was accurate as well.
So am I right in saying, because I've seen a lot of people, listen, I'm in London a lot, and I've actually seen people do it in Whitechapel, trying to talk to Jack the Ripper and the victims and that. And am I right in saying, when you're asking questions... Sorry?
I've never done Jack the Ripper, but I probably might do it at some point just to see like what responses I can get from him. But I like to totally focus on like, celebrities, that sort of thing.
Well, I actually did a book on him. I'm fascinated with the whole kind of Whitechapel thing. But I saw people do it on the streets. And so they're asking questions. Am I right in saying when you're talking to people, you're not hearing it straight away, so you're just asking questions, and then you've got to go away and listen intensively?
Yes, because I'm looking at the device, because I have to wait till it gets down to a certain FM, and then I have to stop it and ask the next question. And then once that interview and the recording's over, that's when I play it back. And then I say to myself, right, what they're saying, let's listen carefully. And then obviously you have to like keep listening to it. Like, for example, if they're trying to say not yet, for example, and it doesn't sound like not yet, you have to keep playing it until you hear that actual communication, not yet. And that's when you have to type it in as an answer, like on these apps on your phone, like Power Director, to put videos together, etc.
So I'm right in saying that's pretty time consuming?
Well, I'm quite a fast editor, so I just basically, I go at my own pace, but a lot of people say you're dead fast putting your videos together, and I'm just like, well, I just don't think of it, because I just don't like speed up or slow down. I just do it at my own pace.
Yeah. So I'm actually going to put, when this finished, I'm going to put your channel in the title. I think you've got 300 followers or something. But I'm right in saying you're probably going to get a little bit more active now. And I mean, is there any kind of spirits that you are going to go and speak to?
What did you say again? Sorry, it broke up a little bit there.
So is there any kind of names out there from the spirit world that you'd love to try and contact, and you will be doing?
In some points, I'm hoping to hopefully get in touch with that boxer that you did it, a book on, Paul Sykes. Yeah, I'm hoping.
Yeah,
I was thinking maybe we could do him at some point, because I've been fascinated to know.
Yeah,
about
but you know what? His sister did that a couple of years back, and she said to me that all she got was abuse from him, which is very much what in life. Do you know what I mean? So it was like it was uncanny that what came back. Yeah, I mean, it's very I've watched some of your stuff in the last couple of weeks. Is there anything that's really made you uncomfortable, or is there any messages that you just thought, oh my God?
There has been times where I can't remember exactly. It was the newsreader Peter Sissons. I did a Ghost Box with the late Peter Sissons, and Charlie Chittington joined with me on it as well, and we did like a joint Ghost Box interview together. So when I asked him if he was now at peace at the afterlife, the very first thing he said was "Hi, Dartsman," and I was like that. I just couldn't believe it, because I just freaked out.
Yeah. I mean, is it right? Do you have to be? I've been at spiritual meetings before, and some people say if you're not tuned in, you'll never see anything. People could be in your face, and you've got to kind of believe, if you like.
Yeah.
But
what I normally do, Jamie, is what I normally do is that I have sage in my house, rosemary sage. I light it up with like a barbecue lighter, and then I go around in the room and like cleanse the whole room out and open my windows dead like wide, and then obviously it banishes all negativity. Ready for my next Ghost Box session. So you have to like do a sage cleanse in your room. I mean,
I've looked into that, and I've actually done stuff like that in the past, and it does well. I mean, actually, at one point, I had a priest come to an old house. But am I right? And have you ever done things where you've been laid in bed at 3 in the morning and you've just heard something, and then it comes back and you think, shit, that's him?
No, nah, that's never happened to me once. Although, when I did a ghost box session with my late grandmother, my mum's late mother, she basically came through saying, my nana, who was that's my great grandma, that's me nana's mum. She says, your nana's coming next week. So I'm thinking, So I told my mother, and she was bad laughing, because I think she was saying she wants to come and see me new place in the flat to see what it's like. So honest to God, it was just so uncanny. I just really like freaked out, because because I actually imagine her in spirit being there with me not knowing. So she's probably like sitting next to us now, and I'm not able to see her.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very much the kind of view of you like that. There is an afterlife, and I mean, what's your thoughts on it? I mean, I'm convinced. Some of the things that's happened to me in life, and probably 15 years ago I wasn't, but I've been to spiritual churches and I've had messages, and which has been mind blowing. Do you know what I mean? I mean, are you obviously?
I'm like, keen to go to some spiritual nights, like at some like venues near me or in Newcastle, etc. Because my friend, who's called Diane, she goes to spiritual events, and she, believe it or not, had a message come through for her from our late mother, because she's on about changing her doctor, something, and she wasn't happy where she was. Obviously, I won't go into too much detail, but she said she wasn't happy with things where she's based at, and then she came through saying, you've got to change your doctors, or you've got to go and see your doctor, that sort of thing. And then obviously she just couldn't believe it, that sort of thing, because, ghosts, I do think there's such thing as ghosts, because I watch Alan Robson's Night Owls, and you see loads of ghosts around when he's doing his walks, like in Hadrian's Wall or something like that, and it's, just really uncanny. I know there's just not a lot to tell about ghosts that just makes you think, God, there is such thing as an afterlife.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's frowned upon by the likes of the Catholic Church and things like that, but have you ever had Dartsman where people have been like, well, mate, listen, you need to just come away from that because it's demonic?
Well, I've had somebody saying I was like full of shit and that, and say, so you reckon you can contact my mother? But obviously that's just my point of view. I says, I'm not going to get drawn up to any debates or anything. I says, that's just the way I want to believe in, etc. So I just says, right, talk to us when you're sober, because I says I don't feel comfortable. So I just, cover him off. I just didn't want to waste my energy being drawn into a debate, that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's the best way. I mean, so say if anyone's listening to this and is interested, am I right in saying, is it as simple as just going to buy a ghost box and starting off, or is there anything that you need to be trained?
Basically, I didn't take any training for it. I just, I just watched how Charlie Chittington does his ghost box sessions, and then I thought, I see how he like starts it off, and just listen to the sorts of questions that he asks, and then I just write them down in my own and just make it like plain and simple for people to understand. And in regards to the spirit box session, I got it off Amazon, so it's basically probably about £110. So I paid £110 for that ghost box device. And obviously I always keep it in this room just so I know like where the spirits can come through, no problem, etc. I've once took it to Blackpool, but when I went to stay with my boyfriend, and believe it or not, I did one with Frank Carson over there, because he died in Blackpool, and I had not much responses, but I did have a few responses that sounded like Frank, believe it or not. So I thought if I take the device with us all over the UK, I might get different, voices coming through, and obviously it was just, as you say, it was uncanny.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously that's very true. Like, I think it's kind of known that if you wanted to kind of, well, particular, the most haunted city in England. In fact, London's the most haunted city in the world. you can check that out. But if
I've
you
been to
wanted to
London
kind of,
twice.
so if you wanted to go to a place like that, like York is this, it's apart after London, it's the most haunted place in England, maybe even in Great Britain. So it would be hugely beneficial for yourself to go to these places, you know, because some of these places go back history of
But like
like
ghost
2000.
hunting, etc.
Yeah, you know, as I said, I've been in Whitechapel about 6 times in the last year, and at midnight, you know, you see them walking about and talking, and you know, I've never really paid that much attention. I seen your thing this week, and I obviously asked you, and it's, you know, there's a place in London called Mitre Square, which is where Jack the Ripper killed his 4th victim, Catherine Eddowes, and apparently it's the most haunted out of all the sites. And you know, I mean, I was there Halloween this year, and it was, I mean, there was just groups all walking around with those little digital things like yourself, and obviously they're
Was there
recording
no
them, then they'll
freaking
go.
out reactions, that sort of thing?
Well, I could see them talking into the devices, but obviously they're going to be going away and listen to it. You know, but I've seen Paul O'Grady, God rest him, in the 10 Bells, which is the pub where the Jack the Ripper victims drank. It's kind of widely known as the Jack the Ripper pub. That's probably something like 300, 400 years. It's, you know, it's, I mean, I spoke to one of the Ripperologists, Lindsay Sibida, and she said there's no money in the world that would make me sleep in there, because she slept in the pub and was chucked downstairs, and she just wouldn't even go in again.
Without people
Sorry?
listening or that sort of thing. Without
Say again?
being touched physically, like without people touching her, like physically.
So there was nobody there, and all of a sudden she was just chucked. Yeah, she was just thrown down the stairs, and she was in there most weeks for years, and she's never ever stayed in there ever again. And she just said, "There's no money on the planet that would." So you know, if you have those kind of access to devices like that, surely it would be beneficial for you to go and think, right, I'll start broaden my horizons, and I don't know, maybe Dartsman kind of tour around Great Britain. That'd be fascinating.
I've never done a ghost box session outdoors. I'm more comfortable indoors at the moment because, you know, that's it's like my comfort zone, you know. So, but you never know. I might expand it a little bit and, like, you know, as you say, travel places to where I've never been. And like you say, York's a kind of good place to do ghost box sessions regarding like Jack the Ripper, etc. But yeah, I mean, as I say, it's just good to do it in your own time and in your own home. And obviously it's like a comfort zone, you know, because this bedroom here is just the ideal size just to relax and, you know, set everything up and ready to record for your next deceased interviewee.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like times now, I don't know, do you ever sit in your house and you maybe having a glass of wine and you think, do you know what, I'll just get my ghost box out and have a chat with someone? Do you ever do that?
I don't necessarily like, you know, do it like straight away. I just think, right, if somebody comes into my head and I'm thinking, right, so this person, or who, like, because I might do a ghost box session with Joan Plowright, who recently passed away. She played the nanny in 101 Dalmatians. I might do a ghost box session with her. So obviously, if she came into my head now, I would, like, you know, go downstairs and like research Joan Plowright and like look at her work and basically categorize the questions regarding her work, or like one or two about her personal life, like her family, and, like, you know, just making sure that the questions are appropriate before I go live and do that interview with the person itself. I
mean, apparently, like, so I had Sean Roper at my house. I don't know whether you know who he is. A couple of years back, he's a big name.
Yes, I do, because he recently did a not recently. He did a evening at a venue near me twice. So I've seen it advertised on the Facebook page.
He's incredible. And so when he came, I had kind of candles, and he said, turn them out. He said they encourage bad spirits. Is there anything you do in your preparation kind of before you'll do that, and then obviously after?
Preparations, in like what, for example?
I don't know. I mean, is there any kind of candles burning or incense sticks or?
Well, I mean, as I mentioned before, Jamie, the sage where I cleanse the room, I do. That's like a preparation for when I like conduct a ghost box session, and sometimes I do it afterwards as well. But I have to like open my windows dead wide as well, because you've got to open every single door and window in your house just to cleanse all that negativity and whatever ghosts are around, ready for the next time, etc. Because that's what my friend Diane does now and again. She cleanses her house, so she's like inspired me to do the same in my house.
Yeah, I mean, how long in total have you been doing this then, Dartsman?
The ghost box session. So it would have been just over a year, I would imagine, because I know the very first one was on the 500th episode.
Right. And regarding your channel, I mean, are you just going to be focused on the ghost boxes, or is there anything else in particular that people want to start watching you?
I will be doing like other content as well, but obviously I'm quite happy with the ghost box sessions at the minute, because I've noticed the views are up and down, which is quite good, because obviously, you know, if there's a certain deceased like celebrity that interests them or if they've been a fan of, then that's when they tune in, etc. But I mean, I do like travel blogs, etc. So I would like to go visit places outdoors and blog about like historic events, etc. But like, for example, once I did one at the Discovery Museum in Newcastle, and I did one at Stevenson Railway Museum. So I'll do like outdoor venues as well, and obviously blog in the countryside somewhere, because it's nice to just take your device outdoors and just, you know, like share with people your interests, and obviously just, you know, try and entertain people as much as you can, because obviously you can't like everybody, but you can, you know, just be yourself and just, you know, help other people as much as you can.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things. Obviously, I watch you, you're quite unique. And basically, I mean, have you kind of come across the haters yet? It'd be like, oh, what you doing's a load of rubbish, what you doing that?
Many times, but you know what? I just immediately block them.
Yeah, you don't feed the trolls. Do you know what I mean? There's many platforms in here, and all they do is offer negativity and nonsense, and it's the same crap daily. And they're not. Obviously, you're quite a very creative person. So yeah, you know, don't listen to anyone you wouldn't come to advice for. And the world's, particularly the internet, it's not a very nice place, but then it can be incredible coming across the likes of yourself and speaking to lovely people and that, you know, but there is the downside. No, I'm absolutely fascinated, Dartsman. I'm going to be watching a lot of your stuff. Is there anything you want to say, kind of bring up?
So basically you were talking about ghosts as well. So what was your very first time that you experienced something like unusual around you, like in your house, or if you're outdoors somewhere? Has it like when did it all like start being in your life, that sort of thing?
So I mean, this is quite incredible. So I moved to a house in Gisborne for about a year, and I said to the wife, I've got a kind of bad fit, but nothing. I just felt something. So anyway, the wife's seen it before me, but I'd been living there about 6 months, maybe 8 months. I was only there 12 months, and it was a stopgap. Yeah. And at the time, we'd been given a load of furniture, like settee, tables, chairs, that kind of thing, from a guy who died. That these were all really expensive stuff, you know. And it was like, I'd never seen him. It was from kind of a relation of a relation. He died, no use for them, passed on. So I come out the shower and the corner of my eye for about half a second, and I would literally say it was half a second. So I recognised it was a guy with black trousers on, white shirt, hair a bit longer than mine, but bright white, and a big nose. And I walked,
like where's the
I
gummage?
walked back and I tried to like do it again, like kind of, and I never set out for a couple of days. And I said, look, you might think I'm off my head here, but I relayed, and she went, Jamie, I've seen him. And it turns out, so this was 2012. So 2009, we went and stayed with one of the relatives of, so this guy was called Mr. Morgan, who all his furniture was from. And I seen a picture of the guy who I'd seen, and it was it. Now, I don't care whether people believe me or not. On my son's life, I hope, you know, I would never say that. I'd die for him. And that blew me away. And as I said, I didn't know him. It was half a second, but it was long enough for me to kind of clock who it was and what he looked like. And then, 7 years later, I seen a picture of him, and that was like,
That's when you realised who it was.
Yeah, it would be impossible. It was just, you know, and as I said, I really don't care. I've never put it in any books or nothing like that. And I've had one or two other little experiences, one or two I've not put in books, because if I'd have did it, I'd kind of killed my credibility, and people would have been like, he's off his head and all that, where I don't mind saying this because I've got nothing to gain from it. And I'm sure there'll be people watching now thinking, shut up, or he's off his head and all this, and which is fine. But that's just my personal experience. Have you had anything like that, Dadsman, away from the ghost box?
No, I mean, obviously, as I say, ghost boxes are just, you know, one of my interests now. And the more I took it up, I just thought, you know, I'll stick with what I'm doing and then just see what people will like the episodes, etc. But as I say, I'm more of an open-minded person when it comes to new subjects to like put on my channel, etc. Because there's bound to be subjects out there that I've never covered yet, which is probably well worth you know, bringing up, even if it's like sports or like geography, that sort of thing. And obviously that's something that I'm willing to continue doing for the future of me channel, etc. So
Yeah.
as I
If
say,
there's anyone watching, I ain't got any questions. But regarding that, you know, I mean, as I said, I know what happened, and I'll take that to my grave. You know, I wish I could take a lie detector, you know, and that was just quite incredible. And you know, there's probably a handful of people on the planet I've ever told that story to.
yeah.
Yeah, but you know, it's I mean, I used to go.
It's nice to have people that share similar interests to like what we do in our personal lives, like outside of our working time, etc.
You know, and it's like you have to be kind of tuned in. You know, I remember talking to because I did 3 books on a guy called Lee Duffy, and I did 2 documentaries. And one of his sayings was to his best mate, "Put this in the book when I'm gone. You can put this in the book." And he used to say, "When I'm gone, I'll come and see you." And I asked his best mate, and I said, "Have you ever?" And he said, "No, nothing." But he's not tuned in where I am. And I used to go to spiritualist meetings, and the people who used to run that said, "You've got this kind of, I can sense from your aura that you have the capabilities of kind of, you know, as I said, there will be people watching this be thinking, shut up. But then there's the ones who are quite open-minded and have had similar experiences."
And it does occur in real life as well all the time.
Oh, absolutely. You know, there's a coincidence, this and that and the other, and it's not a coincidence.
Because 9 times out of 10, because 9 times out of 10, people that say that you talk a whole load of shit or it's a load of rubbish will end up experiencing something themselves more likely, and that's what you call karma.
Well, do you know what? It took me to the age of 31. And other than that, I wasn't, you know, because I am kind of open-minded. I have a lot of empathy. I'm quite probably unusual myself, and so I've always not disregarded anything, and I was 31 then, and nothing in life ever happened until then.
How
And I used to
old, if you
listen
don't
to
mind me asking?
44.
Right, you look good for it.
Thank you. Do you know what? And it's as I said, I used to think, why do I not get that? And since then, I kind of have, but you have to look for it. You have to be open. Otherwise, people can be literally in your face. And, for instance, I was at work the other day and I was just putting some out the back, and a robin come up and just sat. Now, that's never happened in my entire life. And I got home and I said, sorry?
Who's Robin?
As in a bird?
Oh, I thought you meant a person, sorry.
No. So a bird came down and just sat near me.
Oh,
Now, I went home and I said to the wife, because I'm like a duty manager in a licensed premises, and I said to the wife, Rob, and she said, yeah, that's and it's like, it was just enough to say it come in front of me to let me see it, and then it went. So there's a lot of things like that in life can happen, and but you've kind of got to be open to them and see them for what they are. Otherwise, the world will be bland and you won't see anything.
Yeah, because being negative and like showing bitterness is just, it's not the way forward, because life's too short.
Absolutely. I see some of the stuff on here and day in, day out, and it's, I don't know, you probably do. People arguing and calling people names, and I just thought,
oh, yeah, that all
I'm
time
happy. An average age. I don't know. I think in life you do well if you can get to 80. So half my game is over, and like, I'm not going to waste my life by sitting on here arguing and name calling.
When there's things could be done better, and better things to do, like what you're doing and what I'm doing.
Absolutely. And if it makes you happy and you're not harming anyone, then good on you. And do you know what, Dartman? It's been an absolute pleasure. Listen, I'm going to... Sorry?
I'm saying, if there's any negativity, it's what you call a shit file. You write their name and put it in a shit file. And then when that bucket fills up with all the names, you empty it out and look at like who you've got rid of in your life, and then you just set it alight.
Well, do you know what? I did a footballer's book a couple of years back called Alan Thompson from Newcastle, played for England. And when he was doing his coaching badges, when he retired, FIFA said to him, get a list, write down all the people in life who you like being around, the infectious energies, and write a list of people pull you down. So he did it, and he said, so the tutor come up, got the piece of paper, said, which is that side, ripped the piece of paper in half, scrumpled it in the bin, and said, that's what you do with those people in life. And that was quite thought-provoking. It was kind of powerful. Alan's kind of spoke about his demons and depression and all that. And, so when you do little, when you learn to little kind of things in life like that, which help your journey along the way. And, I get trolls almost on a daily basis now, but I didn't know how to deal with it years ago, where now I just instantly block. I used to like to get the last word in, where now I just haven't got the time.
But the best way to deal with that is to kill them with kindness. That's how I learn from dealing with trolls. Kill them with kindness and just, be open-minded and just say, why do you think this? And, do you think that's acceptable? And obviously, why is it that this is wrong? Why is it that's wrong? And then just you say, oh, okay, have a nice day, and then just block them. That's what I do.
Yeah,
I used to be like you, having the last word in, and obviously, it's not like that you're at a House of Commons debates, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because there are some childish, like, people in this world that just likes to try and bring one others down. Because what the world needs now, in the words of the song, what the world needs now is love.
Yeah, absolutely. But of course, I totally get it, and I have done that as well. I've had kind of people messaging me with the usual crap names, and You look like an extra from Prison Cell Block H and other terrible names and saying stuff about my wife, kids. And I have actually been like, are you all right, mate? But it's time consuming. I've got so many platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, 14 Facebook pages for like books. Do you know what I mean? Like kind of subjects and.
How do you manage your channels when you're working? Like, how do you fit in the time when you've just done a night shift at where you work?
I just, because I've got bigger and bigger, as in, I haven't got time now. You know, there's certain. Sorry?
It can't be easy. I'm saying it can't be easy if you're like finishing work and then you're having to spend time like on your book or like your social media pages when you just want time for yourself as well. But you just work your way around it the best you can.
To be honest, I'm an addict in life. So what I do is I'm addicted to. 1 year I released 6 books. It would have been 7 if I never put one in the bin for legal reasons. And I no longer do that. I no longer do that now. I'll probably just do 1 or 2 books a year. But it's a way of life, and it's a positive way. So because I'm writing, so I'm meeting a British. So I did 3 documentaries years ago. I'm meeting a boxer in February for possibly making my 4th documentary. And but this, sorry,
all lovely. I said,
yeah. So if I wasn't doing this, I'd be sat drinking, and I don't even think what I'd probably be doing. But because I like, I don't really drink that much. I probably drink about once a month, but because I'm scared of the hangovers, because the last thing I want to do is be anywhere near a laptop when you've even got half a hangover. So this,
like when you're pissed or something.
Yeah, this kind of creative outlook in life, and even talking to you, Dartsman, this is my new addiction. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, it's helping me.
Well, I do my best to help others as well. I know you've got to put yourself first, but it's nice to be kind to others, isn't it?
I mean, you said to me the other day, you've got your issues, and you do this almost to kind of keep yourself busy. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like for instance, like government documentaries, which I can't deal with on my own. I have to get like support put in place. So like I'll ask like a family member, or I'll ask somebody at work if they can like help me deal with this situation, etc. So them situations are more or less under control at the minute. So obviously that's put a lot of things off edge as far as, because it was a bit worrying at first when you learn how to deal with it, and if it's like deemed so serious, like for instance your money, having to get that paid to the landlord, which is now being sorted. So obviously there was errors on their side, which I've managed to deal with.
Yeah. But you know what? I just want to thank you for coming on. And listen, we'll be watching your channel. I hope you're more prolific. I hope you're more busier. I'm going to put the title in this. Sorry, the video, your channel in the title for this video when we finished. And just keep cracking on, mate. And you've got a big fan of you. So thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you so much, Jamie. Thank you. And I'll speak to you again soon.
God bless, my friend. Keep in touch.
Thank you. Bye. Take care.